Hey there, fellow watchers. It's that time of the week again, Born to Watch. It's incredible to conceive of it today, but at one point in the 1990s, Nick Cage was the biggest action star on the planet. 97's Con Air is part of the Cage action holy trinity, which also includes Face Off and The Rock. Three pretty good movies, got to say. The almost unbelievable premise seems to work, but only thanks to some solid performances from some of the bigger names. Of course, we will spend the next 90 minutes or so deciding whether Con Air is still worth your time or whether we once again have taken one for the team. G-Man, I think this is a little bit of a G movie.
Good evening, everyone. Great to be back. Is it the best of his trinity?
I don't think it's the best.
Or
I think
is that a question for later?
Look, it will come up. It will come up. I don't think it's the best of his trinity.
I don't either. I guess I was asking where do we rank
I don't
it
think it's the worst either.
No. He does go on quite a run here in the mid-90s.
He does. He becomes pretty popular.
He certainly does. The biggest action star of the time. Can you believe that?
No. With the worst hair extensions.
Oh, what about that hair?
Well, speaking of hair, good segue, Gow. We've got a man that doesn't need hair extensions like Cameron Poe. Dan, how are you, mate, up there on the land?
It was his last hurrah for that hairdo, I reckon. It was definitely, he had some length at the back, but the top was a little wispy.
Yeah, it's very G. It's very G. And now that G's
Did you still grow it out the back, G Money?
No, I couldn't grow it that long. Jeez, that was super long hair. Why did he think that was going to be good for the movie?
Oh, it's hair extensions. It's not his hair.
Why?
I don't know. He goes, I thought I'd get a haircut. There's a few questions that need to be posed about some creative choices, I think.
Yes.
And while we're doing
a few questions.
And while we're doing that, we could probably pose those same questions to Daniel. But anyway, Dan, you good though? Not been well, under the weather.
Oh, that's all right. When it's time to shine, I just stand up. I don't worry about the chest infection or the pneumonia. I just get fucking into it. You know, I've always been hard.
Absolutely.
Mate, it's that land farm strength.
It's the farm
strength.
You just battle on every day, mate. You don't get days off on the land.
Yeah. No, well, that's it. It's a 7-day, 24/7-day thing.
Activity.
On the land.
Oh, for sure.
That's it.
Well, and we'll apologise in advance, people, because I'm not 100% either. So if we do laugh and break into raucous coughing, I'll do my best to edit it, but there may be some stuff that gets left in. But we're here for you guys, and we're doing it all for you.
This is good. I'm not sick at the moment, but
next week you will be.
Probably am by tomorrow. So great.
I have been told that I'm not contagious. Okay, not contagious.
Was that contagious, or it'll take the cunt ages?
How long will it take you?
Okay, 1997 movie, gentlemen, 27 years old. God, there's some of these movies when we say how old they are makes me feel really old. I'm gonna set the overs unders at 15 here. I'm being pretty soft on this one. We'll start with you, Dan. Give us your overs and unders, and let me know what your first memories are of Con Air.
Oh, it's definitely a fond viewing experience for me, and it was good to revisit over the last week. I just remember 1997 quite vividly because that was the year that me and G departed for our travels. That was when we finished up what we had going on in Australia at the time. Bit of study for me, and then just a bit of mad 90s rooting for you, G, and that's it. We jumped in the plane, headed out via Hawaii for our new lives in Canada. So 97, very special place in my heart. But I don't remember seeing Con Air at the movies, but I would assume that we went and saw it. It would have been unlikely that we missed this. Did we go as a triumvirate to see it? Why did you remember? I wouldn't.
I think we did see it at the movies, and I actually think that I do know that we did see it at the movies, and we actually brought an extra ring in along with us. I'm almost certain we do in the name of Adam Grant Goober.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dude, there you go.
It was when I was in a cross the streams sort of mode.
Right.
Some of them work, some of them don't. This one worked.
Yeah.
But he fell in love with Cameron Poe. and to this day has a mad crush on the poster. But we did see this together at the movies, and then I think you guys, because you guys left later in the year, didn't you?
We went late 97.
Yes, because we did footy season.
We finished footy season.
Yeah.
We went after that,
Yeah.
so September.
Yep.
We went October or November. Yeah, from memory.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, so overs and unders, Dan, where do you sit? 15.
Yeah, I'd be over that. I reckon I'd be about 20 at a guess.
Yeah, good call. G-Man, you? Same questions?
I'm not quite Damo numbers on this, but I'm not that high. I reckon somewhere between 5 to 10.
Wow.
I saw this a few times early on, but have never watched it again. That rewatch for this podcast was the first time in a long time I've seen this. Yeah, somewhere between 5 and 10.
Yeah, it's funny. This is, again, one of the movies where I watched this a lot in the early 2000s and then haven't watched it.
It was big back then when it first came out. It was a huge
movie. It was a huge Bruckheimer. Huge Bruckheimer movie. And not seen it for a long time in full, seen little bits of it, but I'd be over 15, like easy, because I would have watched this quite a bit at the video shop because it was an easy one to put on. But
yeah, good one to put on, lots of explosions, lots of stuff happening.
I'd say 20 to 25, somewhere around there. Not huge, but again, it was one of these ones where I sort of knew what was going to happen all the time. I wasn't taken by surprise, like some of the movies we've done in the past where I've gone, oh shit, okay. There was no new things this watch where I went, oh, I didn't realize that. G-Man, why don't you tell us about Con Air?
Okay, I've got a couple of taglines for you. There was a few for this movie, so I'll just run a couple by and see what you think.
Yeah, go for it.
First one is Buckle Up.
Not a fan.
Second one is Buckle Up June 6. They were deadly on the ground. Now they have wings.
Brown wings? There was a few in that plane that had brown wings. I'll give you the tip. Yeah.
And obviously the biggest one was Welcome to Con Air. So a bit about the movie. Fasten your seatbelts as Oscar winner Nicolas Cage takes you on the ride. Let me start again. Just one. Fasten your seatbelts as Oscar winner Nicolas Cage takes you on the most dangerous flight of your life in the smash hit action thriller from the creator of The Rock and Crimson Tide, Con Air. On an aircraft carrying some of the most notorious criminals of all time, the recently paroled Cameron Poe is hitching a ride home to his wife and daughter. But he suddenly finds himself embroiled in a... What?
Sorry, I was fucking...
Oh, I heard you laughing. I was trying to get through
laughing. I was trying not to cough.
I'll start again.
You can just...
I'm just going to go from this... No, I can cut out the first bit because I don't like that bit. All right. On an aircraft carrying some of the most notorious criminals of all time, the recently paroled Cameron Poe is hitching a ride home to his wife and daughter. But he suddenly finds himself embroiled in a mid-air skyjacking masterminded by Cyrus the Virus Grissom.
Is that like a mile high wank?
Skyjack? Kind of.
Right, okay.
While Cameron fights to keep these savage convicts from massacring everyone on board as they career towards the famed Las Vegas Strip, a government agent on the ground battles to keep his overzealous superiors from blowing the plane into oblivion. Amazing stunts and visual effects add heart-pounding suspense to this adventure action film.
It's not bad. I'd like to...
Very wordy.
Very wordy. There's too much in there. There's a much easily summarized synopsis there.
This is well before AI.
Definitely. But I'd like to go back to skyjacking.
Yeah.
Because you guys have traveled a bit. Ever had a skyjack?
Mate, there was actually a thing in the paper today about someone on the plane got caught skyjacking.
Really?
Yeah, a couple. Yeah.
Any mile high experiences at all?
Goes on the plane, stays on the plane.
I'm fine. That's good. Dan, you made an interesting point when we talked earlier about film school for F-Wits. You talked about Jerry Bruckheimer, which we're going to do later on the podcast. But there's a lot. That movie just reminded me of Bad Boys, that trailer.
Yes.
The music, everything about it, the lighting, everything. It just, and I was trying to put my finger on it, and I did have a note that said about this reminds me of a Michael Bay movie. And it just really has that look.
Yeah, we'll come back to it in film school for Les F-Wit later on, but I posited the same question in my own general direction, and I've come up with a few theories, which I'll going to further in film school. However, the one major takeout, Jerry Bruckheimer started his career in advertising, and he's never hidden his love of giving the audience spectacular bombast, huge explosions. Like, he doesn't give a shit about the critics' response. He just wants to go all out massive in all his films. And I think that's part of the equation. But I think there's a few more subtle reasons why you equate this particular film with a couple of that you name check. So yeah, I think let's dive into it more in film school for sure.
Like it. Critical thinking. Okay, IMDb rate Con Air 6.9 out of 10. It's rotten 58% on the tomato meter, but
Ooh.
75% audience score. I'm not surprised at that. This is not a critically acclaimed film.
No, it's certainly not going to be, is it?
It is definitely made for the popcorn fare, which there's nothing wrong with that. And
I read somewhere that Empire magazine, which we were reading a lot of at the time, gave it 4 stars. So there was definitely a love of it within our side of the industry, not so much the art house side.
No, for sure. I've got a good review here. Keith Garlington from Keith and the Movies. Oh, there we go. It's the first time for Keithy. Con Air never takes itself too seriously. It knows how preposterous it is and doesn't try to be anything other than wild, raucous popcorn entertainment. And sometimes that's all I'm in the mood for.
Yep, fair enough. I mean, that's what it is. It's your quintessential 90s blockbuster, isn't it?
I think this is a movie that if you're a proper movie critic, you would hate.
Yes.
If you are a lover of entertainment, you're going to get something out of this.
But that's what Morgs is alluding to. I mean, this is how they sell it. There's big explosions. There's lots going on. It's a big storyline, and that's how they get people in to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. A bad one. James Sanford from the Kalamazoo Gazette.
Wow.
Cast actors with a bit of box office clout. Hire a director smart enough to shoot each explosion so it can be shown multiple times from different angles. Find a script with all the depth and complexities of a coloring book, and action.
Yeah. Okay. The depth of a coloring book. I like that.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Well done, Sam. But no, he's not. That's right.
But I think both of those reviews aren't far away from each other. Do you know what I mean? I think that could have been a good review because it knows that's what it is, this movie.
I vaguely remember Kalamazoo. I think G cut a swathe through the trailer park in Kalamazoo, if I recall. He was notorious for plundering the trailer parks on our travels when we ventured down into the US from Canada. So yeah, I'm pretty sure Kalamazoo he cut massively sick. Do you remember, G?
No, I don't, Morgs.
It was his penchant for flannel shirts that got him through.
Oh, look, he hasn't changed up his style since the 90s, and it worked then, it works now. Like, just 90s G.
I change anything. I've got my Born to Watch flannel on, killing it.
It's hard for me to keep my hands off him, to be honest, sitting on the couch. It's very, very difficult. It's been 40 years of training myself to just to keep a barrier. G-Man, Ordinary People.
All right, let's go through. Now, I'll talk a little bit at the start of this Nick Cage, and then we'll get through the rest of them pretty quickly because there's quite an ensemble cast for this movie.
It's deep. The cast is deep.
Super deep.
Deep undercover. Look, Nick Cage initially studied theatre at the Beverly Hills High School, but dropped out. Secured his bit part, his first movie in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which he was mainly cut from. He's only in one scene.
Did he get to see
he was part of, he was in Sean Penn's posse.
Yeah, but then he got a job. He got a job at Fairfax Theatre selling popcorn, and then he was hoping to get into movies. And then he got a job reading lines with actors, and he got himself into Rumblefish, which was his uncle Francis's movie.
Yeah, he was hoping to get in the movies. Yeah, my uncle's Francis Ford Coppola,
and that's his actual surname, isn't it? Coppola.
Yes.
Yeah, he's Nicolas Coppola.
The only movie he appeared with that name is Fast Times at Ridgemont High, although most of it was cut out. So he's Nicolas Coppola. Then he changed his name after that, so he wouldn't get under the nepotism, but he was in Rumblefish, and then he was in Valley Girl in 83. That was his plan.
Get away from the nepotism, but just use everything that his uncle can give him.
Yeah. But yeah, he was in Birdie in '84. Do you remember Birdie?
Is that the jazz one?
Yes.
Yeah, with is Forrest Matthew Modine?
I think it's Matthew Modine.
Pretty
Yeah.
sure it's Matthew Modine. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in Peggy Sue
Is
Got
that the
Married
one
in
that
86.
had the? Sorry, just back to Birdie. Is that the one that had the Birdie Dominelli?
I think that was the theme song. He was in Peggy Sue Got Married in '86.
Good flick. I like Peggy Sue Got Married.
He played Helen Hunt's dad in that movie, and he's 1 year younger than her in real life.
You played Helen Hunt's dad.
Yep.
Wow. I saw an outtake of it the other night. I have no interest in watching that again, Dan. I actually don't think I've seen Peggy Sue Got Married. I don't think I've seen
I think I
it.
saw it once. Yeah. But look, he was like 86, then Raising Arizona 87, Moonstruck in 87 as well, which
With
won
Morgs.
a few awards.
With Morgs.
Morgs. And then obviously Honeymoon in Vegas in 92, Leaving Las Vegas in 95, which he got his Best Actor Oscar for.
Grim.
Which is a
not a
grim
revisit
movie.
film. Not a revisit.
Goes to Vegas.
We all love
himself.
We love the piss, but that's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's a tough movie. And then 96, he was in The Rock, Stanley Godspeed. With Sean Connery. Con Air in 97, and then Face Off in 97 as well. So there's his holy trinity of movies.
Okay, let's stop there. Where does this movie sit in that holy trinity?
I really like The Rock.
I think Rock is one.
I like The Rock. I've always liked that. Good movie.
It's long though.
Yeah, it's long. Good flick.
I like The Rock. My three is Rock, Con Air, Face Off.
Yeah.
Face Off is, if you watch it, it's a bridge too far. He's overacting in it. That's where I reckon The Rock is okay. He's starting to become Nick Cage in Con Air, and he goes full Nick Cage in Face Off.
Yeah. They both kind of have to overact in that. It's a hard concept. Good movie, but hard concept. Yeah. I'm 50-50 on both of those. And so in this movie, he just growls every line that he has.
This movie?
Yeah.
Terrible accent too.
Yeah.
Put a bonnet back in the box.
Look, Snake Eyes in 98.
Underrated.
He was in Kick-Ass.
He's great in Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
He plays like the Batman guy, and he's Chloe Grace Moretz's Hit Girl's dad.
Right.
If the MCU was more like Kick-Ass, I would probably watch more of it.
Kick-Ass is very, very funny.
Very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, after 2010, Eve of Shit No One's Seen, and then Arcadian in 2024.
Has anyone seen that?
No, it's just out. A father and his twin teenage sons fight to survive in a remote farmhouse at the end of the world.
Oh God. Has anyone seen The Unbearable Weight of
I started it but couldn't get a grip.
Yeah, I was the same. I got about 25, 30 minutes into it and I just went, nah. It got pretty good raps though.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So listen, he's in another movie that's coming out this year, and it's called The Surfer.
Oh.
Now, I have heard about this, G. Yeah.
So,
someone was telling me about it. I can't remember who it was.
The synopsis is when a man returns to his beachside hometown in Australia, he's humiliated in front of his teenage son by a local group of surfers who claim ownership over the secluded beach of his childhood. Now, starring alongside Julian McMahon.
Oh, right.
And Nicolas Cage, who was Bruce from Mr. In Between, if you remember that character.
Bruce.
Yeah, the guy on the boat. Do you remember him?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So, yeah, that's coming out this year. Maybe we need to cover that for our friends at Gage Roads.
The Surfer. Well, with Julian McMahon.
Yeah.
For sure.
Who was the Bruce guy on the boat in Mr. In Between? Give me some more information.
I'd have to show you more. He was in the later seasons.
The boat.
It's hard,
just to set up the scene a bit.
Not Jeremy. That's Jeremy Sims we're talking about.
And there was another guy that was on the boat.
I think you were talking about Jeremy Sims. Okay.
Oh, might be. Maybe I got the wrong character then, but he was definitely Bruce in that show.
Okay.
Oh,
you're right.
I too
Jeremy
was
Sims,
thinking of Jeremy Sims. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Fuck that up, didn't you?
How good's Mr. In Between? Just quietly.
Oh. Great. I was watching some episodes just the other day.
Apparently been in Hollywood developing something. So it's pretty hush still. Everyone I run into in the scene is always talking about it, but no one knows exactly what it is. So I don't know. I'll try and do a bit more diving.
I'd love it. I'd love a fourth season.
Could you reach out to your contacts, Morgs?
Yeah, well, I'm surprised. I don't. We always go that Aussies in LA thing. I always get on the piss there and usually find out what's going on. But no, I'll endeavour to find out more.
Thanks, Dan.
All right, look, a couple of sliding doors here. Patrick Swayze was considered for the role of Cameron Poe. I think he would have done a really good
Swayze
job.
would have been good.
He would have very good.
That would have been
as a
good.
Cameron Poe. Nick Cage was also originally cast as Randy the Ram Robinson in The Wrestler.
Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he dropped out of the film because he didn't feel he had time to get in shape, like bulk up and get big enough for that role. And the director was Darren Aronofsky, and he had his heart set on Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke is incredible in that movie. Incredible in that movie.
He was nominated for an Oscar for that.
Yeah.
It's another one you don't. I don't know about you guys, but I don't gravitate towards watching it again. Though it's pretty.
It's
dark.
too heavy.
No, it's heavy.
It's too heavy.
It's
very dark. But tell me an Aronofsky movie that you've seen multiple times.
Oh yeah, it's
they're all
Black
like
Swan.
you can't watch them.
Did you see Mother?
Black Swan.
With,
again, another one I watched about 40 minutes of it. Yeah, it was very, very weird, and very interesting stories from the set. Like it wasn't a great production from all reports.
No,
she plays like Mother Earth, Jennifer Lawrence, apparently. Very weird.
Yeah, it's trippy.
Things.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Black Swan's amazing. I think that's a great
fucking
thing.
incredible.
Never watched it.
Haven't you?
No, I've never watched Black Swan.
Mila Kunis.
Yeah, I don't know.
Natalie Portman, Lizzo scene.
I missed it when it came out, and then I just never got the urge to watch it.
It's very, very good.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll put that on the list.
Yeah. Very, very good.
All right, we'll move on. John Cusack. First movie was Class in 1983 with Rob Lowe and Andrew McCarthy. He was also in 16 Candles in 84 with Molly Ringwald and Anthony Michael Hall. Then he did Grandview USA with the Swayze and Jamie Lee Curtis. But been plenty of movies. He Stand By Me, Bullets Over Broadway, The Thin Red Line, Pushing Tin in 99.
Oh, that's another good.
Billy Bob
He
Thornton.
loved
Yeah,
Pushing
Pushing
Tin.
Tin, good movie.
Angelina Jolie,
yeah. He was in Being John Malkovich as well. And, of course, High Fidelity. He was in Hot Tub Time Machine in 2010.
one of the great comedies of all time. The second one is one of the worst movies of all time. But Hot Tub Time Machine is so underrated. It is so funny.
Yeah, good flick.
He's also in a great movie called Identity, which is a take on And Then There Were None, the Agatha Christie book and movie, 10 Little Indians. Very, very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
He's a good actor, isn't he? He's very versatile.
I like John Cusack. I think he's cool. Apparently, he's a bit of a twat, but
Gross Point Blank, I like.
Yeah,
that's good too. Yeah, he's made some good movies.
Yeah.
Look, he was originally. We talked about Breakfast Club last week, and I mentioned earlier he was actually cast as the role of John Bender.
Well, that would have been
Judd Nelson role.
Yeah.
I don't know. Judd Nelson's pretty good at that.
Well, Judd Nelson's a dick, so he does Bender quite well. It was funny, Dan, that Gow said that he went back and watched the Breakfast Club a couple of weekends ago.
Oh yeah, what do you think?
And I said he should go and listen to our podcast on it.
Yeah, look, I thought it was a good rewatch. I didn't mind watching it. The Bender character is over the top, like he's so aggressive to everyone.
He's annoying.
Yeah, the teacher. I don't know what his job was. Like he just spent it down having beers with the janitor,
mate.
But I thought the rest of it was pretty good. Like it was for a movie that's set with 6 people and there's no one else in it.
Yeah,
I thought it did really
it's like
well.
a play, isn't it? It's more more standard.
But I thought
setup.
the characters were good. Like they were all different characters. They all brought something different to it.
I think Cusack could have done Bender.
I think he could have, definitely. It might not have been as annoying as whatever his name is.
Judd Nelson.
Judd Nelson.
But look, he was also considered for the role of Billy Flynn in Chicago. That's ended up going to Richard Gere. He also turned down the role of Fred Hayes in Apollo 13, which was the Bill Paxton role.
He turned it down?
Yeah. Don't know. He turned down the role of the Woody Harrelson role in Indecent Proposal too. Now, I watched that only 2 weeks ago. Happened to be on.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think of it? How annoying. I find it to be extremely frustrating.
Yeah. And the Woody Harrelson character is so bad. Like,
He's a fuckwit.
Yeah, I forgot how full on and
It's funny
whiny he
because
is.
I think of that movie, and it's funny you mention that because I think of that movie, and then I think about, and Morgs, you can back me up on this, Baby Reindeer. Now, whilst I understand it is very well made, it's actually pretty well acted, it's pretty well written. I found myself to be just frustrated by the whole fucking show. I found how he let it go on for so long. Just some of the actions of him, and you find out why as the show goes on. But still, like, mate, just go to the fucking cops. Stop talking to her.
I don't know. I didn't get that same frustration. I kind of I suffered through all episodes and took it like a man. There were a few people that checked out before, I think, episode number 4, which is fairly grim. But no, I think they set up the fact that he was just dying for any attention, and I guess that's the comic stand-up comics bit, is that, you know, they crave any sort of attention. He was getting none through his professional career. So despite she being a psycho, she was fulfilling a need within him. But yeah, I don't know. I'm still processing Baby Reindeer, but I'm glad I watched it.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about it. That's all. I've got some issues. Anyway,
I think that there's quite a bit that's come to light post production there's certainly some challenges with the writer star director. So yeah, anyway, but if we check it out, if you haven't yet, it's different.
It'd be interesting to see how all that plays out.
I've got to say though, there was nothing about his stand-up routine that was remotely funny ever.
No, zero.
So the fact that he goes to the fucking comedy festival and within 2 weeks he's a superstar, I'm like, there's nothing funny about this.
Yeah.
So anyway, moving on.
All right, John Malkovich. First role was in The Killing Fields in 84. Did Empire of the Sun 87, Dangerous Liaisons with Glenn Close and Michelle Pfeiffer. And then the big movie he got a Best Supporting Actor nom and a BAFTA nom for In the Line of Fire in 93 as Mitch Leary.
Mate, it's one of the greatest movies ever.
Great movie, great role.
Watched that a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, good movie. Obviously, then after that, he's in Con Air. Willem Dafoe and Mickey Rourke auditioned for the part of Cyrus. Didn't get played. Gary Oldman was the first choice.
Well, they flipped. So Malkovich turned down the role of Air Force One.
Yes,
to do Con Air.
Yeah, he did.
And then Gary Oldman got the role on Air Force One.
Yes, that's right.
Very similar movies.
Yep. And then he was in Rounders in 1998.
Good movie, that.
Good movie. Played Teddy KGB.
He's very funny.
A Russian guy.
Pay that man his money. Pay the man his money.
He'll probably leave some messages on our voicemail.
he may well.
Teddy KGB.
He was actually
turn up on the voicemail.
He was actually the first actor to win a major award. He won a New York Film Critics Award for portraying himself in a movie that was a non-cameo role.
Being John Malkovich.
John Malkovich, yeah.
So, yeah.
He's a very, very good actor. He's another
unbelievable.
movie he's very good in, and it's an underrated film. It doesn't get any dues. Is Red with Bruce Willis, Helen Mirren.
Old bugger.
And he plays they're all old spies. Morgan Freeman. It is fucking an amazing movie.
Okay.
Red.
I'm going to get onto that one.
Good.
Red. Sounds good.
Red 2, not as good. It's still good, but Red is unreal. Bruce Willis's last hurrah, really.
What year?
It was like 2010, 2011, something like that.
I have to look that up.
It's a great movie. And he's excellent at John Malkovich.
Oh, he's excellent in everything.
Plays an ex-spy.
He's very, very good actor.
Yeah, he's
very
great.
cerebral. That's the word I'd use.
Like it.
Yeah. Very good.
You can't use words like that on Born to Watch, Gear.
Well, I now have to look up what it means.
It's a kaleidoscope of colours.
It is. All right, Ving Rhames. He had early roles in Casualties of War with Michael J. Fox and Sean Penn. He's obviously in Pulp Fiction, which we've covered. Marcellus Wallace. He's Luther Strackel in the Mission Impossible franchise.
Well, you're forgetting one of Morgs' favourites, though.
What?
Undisputed.
Undisputed, yes.
You didn't hook me with
he's
that.
in Out of Sight. Guardians of the Galaxy in 2017.
Out of Sight's a good flick.
Yeah, it is a good movie.
Jenny from the Block and Clooney.
And Clooney, yep.
Clooney's pretty fucking handsome in that.
Oh, yeah, Clooney's
Oh.
Gow of the 90s.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
That's Clooney's top. That's when Whitey was.
I would
all
have
over
turned for Clooney in
Yeah.
the 90s
Well,
for sure.
Yeah, you make a
Loved
good
him.
point. Like, if you're trying to picture what 90s G was like, it was pretty much Clooney and Out of Sight.
You're right, you're right, Morgs. You're
That was
right.
90s G. It was
Just packing
it
a bit
was
longer. Just packing a bit longer hair at the back, though.
You did have
a
longer
bit
hair in the
longer
back.
at the
but
back.
Bit
it-
feckly, bit curly feckly.
It was the subtle charm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the subtle
super
charm.
subtle.
Laissez
Easy
faire.
pan- Yeah.
Small
He could
teeth.
conjure a panty drop just with a wink. Like, it was just crazy 90s G.
Jesus. Let's move on. Steve Buscemi. Or Buscemi.
No,
He's got the whole world
Yeah,
in
Garland
his
Green.
hands.
Geez, he's made some good movies. Just quickly, Reservoir Dogs, early one, Mr. Pink. Pulp Fiction. He was Buddy Holly, the waiter.
he was. Don't think Buddy Holly's much of a waiter.
He's an airhead. Fargo.
He's dissing my girl.
I think that
Weezer,
Fargo is
Buddy
where I
Holly.
first saw him, and I think that that's a great movie. He's so good.
Fargo's amazing. Yeah.
In that.
Fargo's incredible. Do you remember we all went to see Fargo at the Dendy at Martin Place?
Yep, I remember it.
I
I
had
don't
no
know,
idea what it
I'm
was
sure.
about. You don't. I know you won't remember it, Dan, but you were there.
No.
I'm remembering
Yeah.
for
Yep.
you.
We definitely
And
did. I remember
we
that.
went to Martin Place Dendy. I'd never been to a Dendy before, and we went and saw Fargo. And I was walked out of that movie going, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
Did we have Bill and Tony's before that?
I'd say we probably
I'd
would have.
say we
I'd say we
would've.
probably
That
would
was our go, wasn't it? If we ever went into
Yeah.
the big smoke, it was Bill and Tony's,
Tony's.
and then some.
We did
some
go-
art house
we did-
cinema.
Plenty of Sunday night Bill and Tony's adventures.
a lot. We did go. I do remember one time when we went to see the castle, and we went to the pub on Liverpool Street, the one that went down the side that had the tapas.
Yes.
And we had tapas before we went to-
that was good.
Before we went
Yeah.
to
And they had the big paella in
they
there.
had the big
yeah.
paella, yeah. So we did that before the castle. So we went to have tapas, and then we went to watch people eat sausages and mash with 17 sauces on the table.
So I took a client mate there one time to that exact pub to have tapas because we had such a good time eating the tapas there. So I took him along, and he was a pommy guy. He'd come out to work in media out here, and I was explaining to him, like the cultured fella that I was, it's tapas. it's little plates of food that you have, and it's it's a real sort of Spanish experience, I guess. And he's just playing along. Yeah. Anyway, we get to talking, and the prick doesn't mention until about 4 meetings later that he lived in Spain for 3 years and was pissing himself.
What a
That's
fuckwit!
My attempts at explaining
I
what
love
tapas
that.
was. What a jerk!
I love that.
That's great. But look, after that, he was in The Big Lebowski as Shut the Fuck Up, Donnie.
Mate, he's almost the best thing in everything he's in.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Yeah.
Don't ball on the Shabbos.
Shabbos.
John Goodman.
John Goodman's one of the greatest
Oh
actors of all
my
time.
God.
He's so good.
John Goodman
He's
is
so
so
good.
good in The Big
Oh.
Lebowski.
All of them are. Just, I remember the first time I watched that, and I was like, "This is odd," and then it sort of grows on you.
Yeah,
It's
I
that
watched
real
it.
growing on.
I watched a little bit of it the other week. It was just
Mm.
sort of on, and I just caught some of it, and I just chuckled for 20 minutes, and then I tend to. It's a movie I flit in and out of,
Yeah.
so it's very easy for me to sort of watch it for 10 minutes and turn it off.
Yeah.
Which I did.
All this new shit's come to light, man.
The dude, he's funny.
He's obviously in Sopranos too. Had 14 episodes as Tony Blundetto.
Mm.
Poor old Steve Buscemi was beaten up this week. Got attacked in New York City. He
Really?
was wandering the street.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
God, he
And
must be
got,
70.
some guy came up,
Jesus.
and some guy came up.
Mm.
He's 66.
66.
Some guy came up and slapped him in the head, knocked him down. Yeah, he had to go to hospital.
I don't like his movies.
Pretty crazy.
He's an ex-fiery.
Yeah,
He was he? Yeah, he was an ex-fiery.
he's an ex-fiery. He did a lot of things. He was actually a wrestler at school, and he was an ex-fiery, and he'd done a few jobs. But when 9/11 happened, he actually turned up at his old station.
He put his gear back on and went
He
in.
went out and helped.
Yeah.
and did that for like a couple of weeks.
Legend.
How long? Digging through, looking for
Oh,
people and
wow.
helping without going to tell anyone about it.
Yeah. No, he was a legend.
Yeah.
He's a legend.
Okay, just quickly, Rachel Tickerton.
Oh, yep.
First movie was Fort Apache, the Bronx.
Wow. Okay.
in 81 with Paul Newman and Ken Wow.
The Taking of Beverly
Kenny
Hills,
Wall.
one of the great 80s movies.
Yeah.
90s, 91, I think it is.
Yeah.
Taking of Beverly Hills.
She was in Total Recall in 1990, Falling Down in 93.
She fought against Sharon Stone in a very sexy fight.
That's right.
Mm.
Okay, Danny Trejo was in it as well. His first movie was Lock Up, one of his earliest roles with Sly in 89. He's in Marked for Death in 1990, and Desperado is the one where I first came across him in 95.
What a great movie that is.
Yeah.
Do you know that he's got a tattoo of Salma Hayek on his stomach?
Yes. And when he first met her, he had to show her.
He had to show her. It was on Desperado.
Yeah.
Yeah. So already had a tattoo of her. That's some creepy
Wow.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine having to rock up to a movie and work with someone and go, hey, look at this. I've got a tattoo of you on me.
If you put like 5 people or 10 people in a room and you say you got to pick an ex-con,
Yeah.
you're picking Danny Trejo
Yeah,
every time.
You are. He was also in Heat and From Dusk Till Dawn in 96.
Well, there's a couple Heat alums in this movie. Did you notice another Heat alum in this movie, Dan?
Heat
Was it?
alum.
I did. I
Yes,
think it was...
one of the heavies at the start that fights Cameron Poe.
The one he kills. The one he kills is Waingro. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, Waingro.
And of course, Machete was and the franchise of that.
Yeah.
Most recently. And just quickly, we've got Colin Meaney. He's from The Commitments, 91.
Great movie.
Under Siege. He was in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, the TV show. Did 173 episodes of that as Miles O'Brien. He's in Layer Cake and Get Him to the Greek in 2010. And we also had small roles for Dave Chappelle as Pinball Parker.
That's one of my favorite parts of the movie, when he's falling out of the plane.
Yeah.
That was fucking hilarious.
So can you tell me what happened to him? Because he was running alongside the plane trying to get back in.
I don't know. I think
then they found him in the...
He got sucked in by the wheel.
Somehow, And of course, Monica Potter, who was in Saw 2004, Along Came a Spider, and Patch Adams.
Yeah, she did nothing.
She's
really done nothing.
No, not a lot after that. Not a lot after those movies.
Yeah. Well,
that's it. We'll leave it there.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. Budgets.
Okay, this grossed 101 million domestically, 123 internationally, for a worldwide of 224 million. Opening weekend was 24 million, and on a budget of 75. Opened in 2,800 odd cinemas and is averaging about 7 weeks in each theatre. So it was on for almost a couple of months.
Wow.
So it shows you it's a decent hit at the time. Look, as for awards, it didn't get any awards.
What?
It didn't get through. It had
could it be worst ballad?
Oh yeah.
How do I?
Well, that got voted. That got voted for best song and Razzie for
worst song. Yeah.
Didn't get either, but no, that year Titanic led the way with 11 awards, tied with Ben-Hur for the most Academy Awards in Oscar history. LA Confidential, that we've covered before, was 9 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Supporting Actress for Kim Basinger, and Best Screenplay. But obviously James Cameron was Best Director for Titanic. Jack Nicholson is Best Actor in As Good as It Gets.
He got 2 Oscar noms, though. Got an Oscar nom for Best Sound and Best Original Song.
Yeah.
How Do I Live?
That's what I'm saying.
I got a message.
It got a nom and it got a worse nom.
Yeah, but I got a message from Adam Strang because it's on after like 38 seconds of the movie,
it is.
right?
Yeah.
It's the opening song. And he goes, how bad is this ballad at the start of the movie? And I'm like, oh, is that How Do I Live? I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Leanne Rhymes.
Yeah.
It wasn't it Tricia Yearwood that sang it, but it was
was it Tricia Yearwood's version? Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. But look, money-wise, obviously Titanic was 2.222 billion. The Lost World, Jurassic Park, Men in Black, Tomorrow Never Dies, and Air Force One rounding out the top 5. Con Air came in at 16 with 224 million, as we said. It was just below Good Will Hunting, 225 million.
Okay. Not a bad year. Not a bad year. 91 more. 97 Morgs.
No, 97 for I think Hit Sleeper Dud will throw up quite a few gems, methinks.
I don't want to say it because there's quite a few good ones in there.
Well, let's do that. Hit Sleeper Dud, 1991. And I've got the hit. And I know I'm probably taking food from Daniel's mouth here.
What are you going with?
Paul Thomas Anderson's critically acclaimed Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
Oh,
great movie.
what an amazing flick.
One of the greatest movies ever made.
Criminally underrated would be
Yeah.
my take on
Yeah,
that.
I
Criminally.
100% agree. Listen to this: Mark Wahlberg, Burt Reynolds, Julianne Moore, Don Cheadle, Heather Graham, Philip Seymour Hoffman, John C. Reilly, Thomas Jane, Alfred Molina, Louis Guzman, William H. Macy, Philip Baker Hall.
Oh, it's great.
What
And
a
that's
cast.
half the cast,
Yeah.
right? About here's the synopsis. Back when sex was safe, pleasure was a business, and business was booming. An idealistic porn producer aspires to elevate his craft to an art when he discovers a hot young talent. I watched this about 3 weeks ago again.
Yeah.
It is so rewatchable because
Yeah.
it is. I don't think there could be any movie that I watch that I pick something new up every time I watch it.
There's a lot
It is-
going on in it. Yeah.
There is so much going
Mama
on.
told me not to come.
Boogie Nights.
Even when William H. Macy makes the mistake about, I've got a guy on the driveway with an ass up his cock, and like they just leave it in. They leave it the fuck up in.
Yeah.
Like it is just. And then the painting of him, the painting of William H. Macy at the end where they're going through the hallway of Burt Reynolds' house and there's a painting of him, a portrait. It's so fucking layered.
There's so much going on in that movie. It's a great.
It's just,
movie.
and Mark, as bad an actor as Mark Wahlberg is, he suits that so perfectly.
He's playing the innocent sort of.
Well, because he's playing someone that is not supposed to be very good.
Yeah.
And he just crushes it.
Absolutely awesome karate.
John C. Reilly is the most underrated part of the whole film.
He's awesome.
When he does his magic act at the end, and then he pulls the girl out of the thing, gets tits out. Oh my god, I was just crying.
Don Cheadle's incredible.
Oh, Don Cheadle's amazing.
Fuck. It's interesting. Mark Wahlberg has just completely disowned the film too because he's quite a religious type these days.
Yes,
Wahlberg, and obviously playing a porn star with a massive whizzer goes against his values. But now, what an incredible movie! Yeah, I love that flick as well. Whitey, good choice.
Yeah. Okay. And Sleeper, Dan, what do you got?
Yeah, I have a memory that we've talked about this film before, but it's a Kurt Russell bit, Breakout.
Yeah.
So
Breakdown.
Breakdown. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Breakdown. Yeah, Breakdown. Yep. Which is I haven't seen it for a while. I'm going to rewatch it because I realized that it was a 97 flick for this reason. But yeah, really interesting premise. You don't kind of know what's going on when it starts, and the setup basically his wife's kidnapped, and they think he's got heaps of freight, but really he's got bugger all, and just a really creepy, slow, tense movie that I think again probably underwatched and worth a revisit. F-wits, do it.
Great cast. Catherine Quinlan plays his wife. JT Walsh is the baddie.
He's the baddie. Yeah.
And Markinson's a ghost, so then he's never going to be able to catch him.
No.
But it is super creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A great movie.
Really good movie.
Cool. G-Man, you've got the dud, but I've got a feeling you're going to overrule something
No,
here.
I overruled it. I went with Morgs' rule of it. I can overrule because this movie, 97, has to come out. It's a hit. The Castle.
Well,
the 97. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 97. I had to bring it up. If you guys didn't, I thought I've got to bring it up because it is such a part of our lives, and there's so many one-liners out of that movie. I remember the first time I watched it, Morgs, was on our travels. Remember we went to a castle party in London?
Oh, we did. Did you? Was that when I introduced you as
Gentle Ben?
Gentle Ben?
So I actually watched the start of the Life and Times of Grizzly Adams the other day.
Oh my god!
And I just watched the start for the song when he's on the ridge line with his.
Oh, it's a good song.
Yeah.
But all I could think of was Gow's farts being banned.
How's the song go again?
Oh, I can't remember.
Take me home. There's something we must about. Maybe.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's
it.
Take me home.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that, Dan, because I did the same thing. I watched the start of Grizzly Adams about 2 months ago, I reckon.
Yeah, I just literally watched the start to hear the song.
Yeah, it just watched the start of the song. It's great. No. Good
But yeah,
call
just
with
quickly, if you haven't heard the
overall call.
story, Gow used to be able to fart like the bear out of The Life and Times of Grizzly Adams, and I was describing Gow to a colleague I worked with, and then he met that colleague at this party, the castle party, for the first time, and he said after having about 1,700 beers, "Are you Ben?" and then did the fart noise.
No, he's some drunk where he was
Oh.
just sitting down in a beanbag going, "Are you Ben?"
Luckily our
Yes, no,
humours
The Castle, great
have
movie.
definitely
Michael
matured since
Caton,
then.
Ann Tenney, Steph Curry.
I mean,
And of
that's
course,
got to be the most quoted film of all of
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
film.
Yeah, we
quotes.
use it a lot.
but yeah, Charles Bud Tingwell, of course.
Yep.
As
What the fuck is
Loza,
F5?
As Loza, Loz,
Tyriel Mora.
Tyriel Mora, yeah.
Yeah, great call, yeah. Good
Excellent.
overall.
Good
I'm
call,
allowing
yeah.
it. Question time. Has there been a worse set of hair extensions in cinema history?
No.
The hair looks bad.
I don't get the hair that he grew it so long, and everyone else has short hair.
Yeah.
On the plane. And then when he gets home, his wife says, I was going to get a haircut. I was like, when? When you got off the plane and they were at the airport waiting to meet you?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you have got a haircut
I
before?
find the whole him leaving prison poses too many questions.
Yeah.
We'll get to a couple in here too.
So I did a bit of digging on that because Nicolas Cage and I share an agent, which you guys might know. But I actually asked.
I don't, Dan.
I asked our agent, who I won't name check, just because I just choose not to. He said that Nick actually had a beard at the start of shooting for the film, and Jerry Bruckheimer turned up the first day of shooting. I was like, "What the fuck? I'm paying this guy $20 million. I want to see his face. He's got to get rid of the beard." And he goes pretty method, Nick. And so he was gutted, and he was like, "Oh, I don't know who Cameron Poe is if he doesn't have this beard." And so that's why he thought, "Fuck, what else can I have?" And that's where he landed on the long hair would be able to get him to center in what he'd created already for Cameron Poe. So true story. Well, most of it's true.
No, all of it. Oh, fuck. So Cameron Poe gets jumped in the car park, defends himself, and goes to jail. Not only that, a whole bar has watched him be effectively assaulted in the bar. They jump him, they smash glass, and then he goes to jail. Surely that's self-defense.
You would think so, seeing she was there and was a witness, and they would have found the other guys pretty quickly, seeing that one guy was dead.
Yeah.
They would have found his mates pretty quick, and they would have figured out what's going on. There's also no such thing as being, an enlisted person going to jail for being a secret weapon,
licensed weapon.
A licensed weapon. So
Jeff Speakman.
There's a little bit of poetic license. Oh, you get 8 to 10 years because you're in the army, so you should know better.
It would have been harder for the screenwriter to get him on the prison plane if he got acquitted. So I can kind of see what they were going for there.
No, I thank you, dickhead. Thank you, Daniel. Fuck a duck.
Plot holes. This would have to be the one of the films with the most plot holes in
one of the greatest plot holes. We'll go to our next plot hole. We'll go to our next plot
hole.
Fuck. We'll go to the next plot hole then. Could Poe's lawyer be the worst ever in history?
Yeah.
He gets him to plead. Then he gets belted with the 10 years. Surely he would know that, oh, no, mate, don't plead, because if you plead guilty, they're going to go, you're a military weapon, you're Jeff Speakman, and you can't do that, so plead not guilty.
Yeah, it's all glossed over really quick, isn't it? Oh, I beat this guy, I killed one guy.
He should have punched his lawyer. He should have punched. If he punched his lawyer.
Was his lawyer the dude out of Stripes that John Candy takes all the money from at poker?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is him.
Yeah.
It is him.
I can't think of his name.
So he's still stupid. Still stupid. So Cameron Poe gets parole. He's a free man, but he has to go on the worst prisoner transport in the history. This is not just a standard prisoner transport. This is an all-star lineup, as they mentioned. Surely, don't you go, it's cool, guys, I'll take a bus. Or-
I'll spend another night.
Yeah, I'll just get the bus. Or why isn't his wife picking him up?
Again, it would have been difficult to get him on the plane, but I see
Yeah.
what
Oh
you're
no,
going
that's
for.
Daniel.
She does. Well, she does live in a different city, and she didn't want. He never saw his child because he didn't want him seeing him in prison. So she doesn't come and pick him up because they wanted that.
Okay, I'll take that. Fuck you both. Has there ever been a bigger wire on an undercover agent?
Yes, that was
The thing looks like a gun holster under his armpit. It's like a Sony Walkman from 81.
And
I
it's not
was
like
like,
it was
real.
transmitting
It's a
via
massive reel.
Wi-Fi or anything. It was
No.
you could have had one of those tiny little dictaphones that you could buy down at Radio Shack in 1997 for no problem.
How did nobody see the cop putting a gun in his sock?
in his sock.
When there's 1,000 cops, there would have been so many cops standing out there for all these bad guys, right?
Oh fuck! I've got the sock gun in my good, bad, ugly. Last question. What do we think is a reasonable death count for the Vegas crash? Because I reckon 6,000 people died in that crash.
Yeah, when they bring it down on the road and they crash into the casino.
Yep. There's an explosion where you see about 50 people jump out of the way. They're all dead. There's shit going everywhere. People's going to get hit by the Hard Rock Hotel arm.
I know that the wing comes off the plane.
The wing, mate, the propeller flies through. It's taken out fucking 50 people. Like, what do you think? I'm saying 3,000 to 5,000 because it's busy.
You don't often see the that strip not chockers with people and cars at that time of night either. So yeah, I think you're probably within a couple of hundred of the true figure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Born to watch only fans.
Oh, look out!
Yeah. Well, and Dan, you mentioned about old Blade Runner on Spotify has been giving us a lot of raps.
Yes.
Leaves us a little review every episode. He's all over it, which we like.
Yeah.
He was obviously bitterly disappointed in your performance for Stripes.
Oh, and I tend to agree with him on that one. So
Yeah,
astute observation there, Mr. Blade.
What's incredible though, Daniel, and I mentioned this quite regularly, for someone that drinks as often as you should be better at it.
I'm still trying to coach.
Yeah, I know you are, and don't quit. That's what I like about you. There's no quitting you. But he left a little note for the Empire Strikes Back. Best movie ever. Great commitment, great discussion, great dudes. We love the Blade Runner.
Nice, Blade. Thanks.
Good call, Mr. Blade. You sound like a top bloke. Thank you.
And when you get out of jail in Pretoria, we'll have you on the show.
Wrong Blade Runner.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Sorry.
Well, I'm assuming his handle isn't in reference to Oscar Pretoria.
Could be. Yeah, we're big in South Africa.
Pistorius.
His girlfriend was good sword. Jesus.
Yeah. She was very attractive. Reva Steenkamp.
Yeah, super.
Deserved better.
Afrikaans name. Yeah, weirdo.
Yeah, deserved better.
Good work, Blade Runner. Sorry to compare you to that freak. Beg your pardon.
Big things have been happening on the Born to Watch front the last couple of weeks, and I've been building a website which is now live, borntowatch.com.au.
Stop it.
Get on there and have a look. It's got our whole feed on there. All our shows are on there. It's got you can join a mailing list. You can also leave us a voicemail. In the bottom right.
What are you talking about?
In the bottom right of the screen, you can click on a little microphone icon and you can leave us a message. And if you leave us a message, we just might play it on the show. Right? Now, it obviously will go through a horrific and very stringent censorship, but let's do this. Leave us some messages, some reviews, some requests, some feedback. We love a bit of feedback. We can't get better without feedback.
It'd be interesting to see what messages we get on there. It's a great way to interact.
Absolutely.
Leave us a message.
I can only dedicate
to
maybe 3 days to that this week. That's all.
Okay. Is that all, Dan? Thank you. I
That's it.
There's
appreciate
going to be
that.
a lot. There's going to be a lot coming in from the land. I'm tipping.
Yeah. Well, we're definitely going to get one from. What was that?
Is it your side?
I
Gremlins.
don't know. It was my side.
I thought it was.
Anyway, that's OnlyFans. Get on the website, borntowatch.com.au. You can share it to your
Web it up.
friends, share it to your enemies. We don't care. We're not picky. The Gage Roads Brew Company, good, the bad, and the ugly. How's your beer going, Gow?
Super.
You've been really
Love it.
smashing that hazy as, haven't you? There's none left.
Love the hazy as.
You had to put in another order.
There's a couple, but yeah. No, I love the hazy as. Love the single fin. We talked about the single fin last week too.
I was watching.
Good
You smashed a
beer.
few single fins on the weekend.
I did.
Whitey, you
Get a
took
couple
down an
there.
airtime, I believe. What'd you think?
I did take. Look, it was okay. Well, I hadn't had a beer for a long time. Had not had a beer. My last beer was in February when I was in Bali, but before that, it was when I was in Bali with you boys in June.
Oh, wow.
So it had been, my second beer in 9 months. Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was all right.
Only
It wasn't bad.
99 calories a serve, those things. That's pretty much like doing 100 burpees.
Absolutely. It's like drinking Pepsi Max.
Yeah.
Just a different flavour.
They're bloody grouse.
Yeah, no, good.
beers.
Thank you, Gage Roads. Loving your piss.
And it was quite funny. I did get pulled aside at footy on the weekend by our great fan, Robbo. G'day, Robbo. And he said to me, now, are you guys really fucking sponsored by Gage Road Brew Company? I go, yeah, we are, mate. He goes, are you lying? And I go, no, there's lots of stuff on the show that's lies, but this
That is not one of
is
them.
not one of them. And I go, mate, we got delivered some product and we're just going to spruik them and away we go. And he goes, fucking hell. I go, yeah, we're big time.
Yeah. Massive.
We are airtime.
Biggest podcast in Illinois
That's
and
it.
surrounding suburbs.
That's it. That's it. Maybe even Chugan. Good. Daniel, we'll start with you. What do you got for good?
I just think the director Simon West, who had never directed a film previously and was most known for being a music video director of
Never gonna
Rick
give
Astley's
you up. Never
Never
gonna
Gonna Give
let
You Up.
you down.
Never Gonna Run.
I was crying when I saw
Around
that.
Yeah, amazing. So, handpicked by Jerry Bruckheimer, the producer, to do this, and does an incredible job. Just transition straight from a video clip that we've been rickrolled by for the rest of our lives and have seen 1 bazillion times. But no, super solid effort, and I think he did a stunning job for his first go.
Yeah, he does do a good job. He cannot argue with that. That's it for you. One good.
Yeah.
Like it, G-Man.
I had a couple of quick ones. Love John Malkovich. We talked about earlier as the bad guy.
Yeah.
Really good. Just so laid back and reserved and just oozes badness. Like you just get that bad vibe from him. Very cerebral, as we said earlier.
I like it.
I did also like Steve Buscemi in this role. I think he plays. He researched that role and like the Dharmas of the world. And
I think he's the best part of the movie.
and he took that really calm demeanor because that's what he noticed. Like I think Jeffrey Dahmer's last interview was like that, and so that's why he took that very laid back or very quiet sort of. But some of the things he says are so creepy.
Yeah,
just so creepy. And when he hangs out with a little girl and starts singing.
Oh, the anticipation of that scene.
And I remember when we first watched it, I was going, "Oh no, no, they can't do this to the little girl." And then when he walked back to the plane with the doll in his hand, I was like, "Oh no, they've killed her off."
How dirty was she though, the kid?
Yeah, it was odd. She
Have
was
a
just there.
shower.
Yeah, she was just out in the bad.
How's she living there?
Don't know. The old guy was under the car. He wasn't too concerned about her.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't too concerned. That's for sure.
I love the scene where with Johnny 23's ripped off arm.
Oh yeah.
They're like, he's dead, take him away. And then they take the body and the arm
the arm's
just
still
hangs
hanging there.
It just
That
didn't
is
need to
cool.
be there. And it was just cool.
Yeah.
Like just the arm just hanging there.
It's just a
great.
sense of irony.
Yeah, and you're like, yes.
Yeah. It was great.
Yeah, it was a sense of irony because he deserved that.
Yeah.
He deserved
Johnny 600 if they knew all of them.
Yeah. And of course the ass kicker number plate.
It's a good number plate. The owner's a fuckwit, but it's a good
Yes.
number plate.
That's my good.
Okay, I got whilst unbelievable. I love the premise, like getting the worst criminals ever on a plane.
Yep.
I'm hooked.
It's different. It's a
I'm
different
hooked.
story.
And I agree with Dan. I think the director does an incredible job for his first feature. It's incredible. He's so good, so slick. The movie's super slick. We've already mentioned it, but Pinball's Fall to Earth. Just how it actually is so fucking good. How that whole tension of the guy's in the car, the bird shits on his car, he starts to clean it, and then you see Pinball, and he's just floating down, and then whooshka, and fucks that car up.
He drove it 100 meters out of the wash.
Oh my god, I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good bit of levity.
Yeah. I agree with you, Gav. I've got Soros. I've got, obviously, Malkovich and Buscemi are incredible. 2 weeks in a row, Nose Through the Brain.
Yes.
We had Last Boy Scout last week. Touch Me, I'll Kill You. And then Poe killed Waingro with the Nose Through the Brain. Okay, now, Daniel tends to laugh a lot when I express emotions when I talk about movies. And I'm going to preface this statement here by saying that I've not been 100% well. So I'm a little bit, how can I say, vulnerable at the moment. I was watching this movie last night at, I would say, it's probably happened about 10 to 6. And it got to the end. And Cameron Poe is being introduced to Casey. And I am a blubbering mess. Right? I am a fucking blubber to the point, and what makes it worse is that I hear Megan to start to walk down the stairs. So, and I'm going, oh my god, I'm just gonna have to fucking own it. And because she had brought me down some dinner because obviously I was not well, and I hear her coming down the stairs. I'm like, fuck, and I can't hide it. I'm at the point where I can't chew because I'm bawling. I can't talk. And then she comes in and she looks at me and she goes, and I go, I'm crying because of Con Air, right? And then she looks at the screen and then looks at me and just loses her shit, just laughs in my face. Yeah, I was a blubbering mess.
I wasn't overtaken by emotions in that particular scene.
But the thing is that if I hadn't had Belle, I don't think I would have had that
father of a young daughter.
That father, yeah, that whole thing. And I don't know, it really kicked me in the balls this time around. It's the first time it's ever happened. And I was blubbering and it was embarrassing. Well, let's move on. The bad. G-Man.
You blubbering about this movie?
I second that.
It's my ugly.
it's bad and ugly.
You're such a cock, yeah. I try to talk about feelings. You guys just bring me down.
Good work, crybaby.
Johnny Depp.
We've hit a couple of them, but one of my bads was a lot of things had to go right in this escape.
You love that. That's your favorite thing.
No,
but I love it. But it's your favorite thing about it. Too many things have to go right in this one.
But they're getting, like, the guy that comes on to fly the plane comes from a different facility, and they had to get messages to each other, which they did with the cards with the cutouts of the eyes of. But how did they know? How did they know? How did they know that they'd understood the message in the other prison? How did he get to blow up his cell? How did he rig that up to blow up his cell?
Man, hang on. While we're on that, I have in my bad. Let me just find it here because we're talking about blowing up the cell. A cell of one of the worst criminals on the planet that has cameras in it because they're watching them go through it. Right?
Yep.
Cameras in it, and he builds a terrorist grade bomb.
Yes.
Not like a Molotov cocktail from some
no.
Well done, Dan.
How am I gentle, Ben?
Not that's a different sound.
It was.
That you aren't well, Dan.
That's salmon pokey.
That was not his normal, really tight on the fucking throttle fart. It's not a Molotov cocktail made from prison gin.
No.
It's the bomb that's in Die Hard with a Vengeance with the two things.
Yep. And it's also the cleanest cell I've ever seen. You see, it was freaking immaculate, that cell. So, I don't know how they did all of that. And then they got him on the plane. You know, there had to be a sandstorm, so none of them would get figured out because when they take the prisoners off, you know, there had to be.
That was lucky.
I know. There's just saying all these things had to go right.
Yep.
So when they leave Pinball, he's in there chatting up the chick at the red plane because he's put the transponder in the red plane. And then they come out. Then they take off after they've realized that the killers have been let free, and Cyrus shoots the cop.
Yep.
Right. And yet in the scene, like 10 minutes later, they're letting people go through and go, just get on the plane. We'll take you up for a nice flight. That place would have been locked down. The worst criminals in the US have just absconded from there in a plane. There's a dead police officer there, and they go, no, just keep coming through. We'll get you on your flight.
Yeah.
At the airport.
Yeah.
Massive plot hole. Massive. There would be SWAT cops everywhere.
SWAT cock.
One quick one. Why did the pipe stop steaming when it went through Bedlam's chest? You know, when they're fighting in the bottom of the plane, and the pipe gets ripped and it's steaming stuff out.
Yeah.
And then he falls back on it.
Yeah, good
goes through his
point.
body, and then it's just stopped. I was like, what stopped?
He needed to let off some steam, Bennett.
He did. That's exactly what I thought of. The only other one was it got dark very quickly when they were flying back to Vegas.
Yeah.
Like they're in the air and it's daytime, and by the time they land, it's pure night.
Yeah. Yeah, good call. Dan, what do you got for bad?
Yeah, I've hit it. There's just so many plot holes in this, and you need to suspend your disbelief constantly from scene to scene in this movie. But it does. There's at every point. I think most notably on the plane itself, where the whoever, if that is John Cusack's sole role, is to make sure that this plane is safe, then he needs to be court-martialed straight away and locked up for everywhere. Because why didn't they just have a sniper in there in a locked cage with his gun poking out the end, and you could just take him out the moment anything kicked off? Why didn't they use tear gas in there? Why didn't they? There's a million things that they could have done to prevent that, but then I guess we wouldn't have had the rollicking fun film that we thoroughly deserve. So,
I'd also think that who needs to be court-martialed is the provider of the handcuffs.
Yeah,
those things. You only need a tiny little stick,
Pin.
and you can get those off. Everyone can do it.
You can pull a pin out of your hand. Yeah. So there's, again, it's fun. It's awesome, but you certainly would hope that as an untrained US Marshal, you could do a better job than the US Marshals.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. I've got a few. Is the Hummingbird? Is she working on the night her husband's coming home?
Yeah. Does the boss just have to cop her just like?
And she just dances for the rest of the
night?
Yeah,
I'm just gonna dance with long-haired Poe now. Yeah, that was a bit rough. As
why
a
wouldn't
former
they leave
small business owner.
Why wouldn't they leave straight away? If he's been in the army for 4 fucking years, right? He's not gonna dance for 4 hours. He's gonna drop a load.
And he's also, excuse me, this is a special night. Yeah, we're just dancing at my girlfriend's work.
Dive bar.
Yeah, we're just going to dance here. That's our big night out.
God, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's a bit odd that they would be hanging around. If she's at work, she would have said, see you, boss. I'm out of here.
I got more umbrage with Hummingbird. Shit care packages. 2 fucking pink cakes and a couple photos and a letter. I'd be wanting proper food, man. Send me some proper shit.
The off-road magazine was pretty sick, though. I do like a dune buggy.
I'd much prefer to have, jugs or something.
Stick mags. Penthouse letters.
Chunky asses. The accent.
But cake.
The accent and the hair extensions are not ideal, but we've done that.
He actually went and did a lot of research, like went down to Alabama and hung out to actually perfect that accent. So yeah, it's not like he turned up the set and I'll give this a go. He actually put some thought into it.
He had a few crawfish broils. There's a scene that when he gets these parole and he says to Bubba, he says, son, I'm going home.
Yeah.
It was so Cage.
So
it was a glimpse into the future of how bad he's going to become.
That whole scene just doesn't resonate with his character because he's so moody and grumpy the rest
Well,
of the time.
he's understated the whole time.
Every line that he says to someone, he says in a smart
Yeah.
alecking tone.
Yeah.
And then he jumps for joy.
Yeah.
Just
fuck off, Cameron.
It's like Tom Cruise on the lounge.
No one's like Tom Cruise on the lounge. So I know he serves a purpose, but Duncan Malloy, the DEA agent, is an absolute fuckwit.
Yes.
He has zero redeeming features. He is a cockhead. Every time he opens his mouth, I want someone to shoot him.
But I guess that's the point. They need a bad good guy.
Yeah,
right?
but he's
to bring more tension and make the roller coaster.
But he's almost like next level parody.
Yeah, it is. When he first turns up, it's parody.
Yeah. What a dick. The DEA agent with the sock gun, he needed to be a little more patient. I know that he thought, well, they're going near my leg where the gun is to undo his cuffs, but he needed to be. He like went all in with a pair of twos.
But he was out of the cuffs because he jumped up and grabbed like a hostage. So he was already out of them.
Yeah,
and his gun wasn't out.
He needed to be more patient.
Why wouldn't he? If he thought if they were coming near him, he would have taken the gun out of his sock anyway.
And,
and put it up under his shirt.
Yeah, thick.
Yeah, he was a massive patsy, wasn't he? He was going the minute he got on the plane. You're like,
yeah, he thought he was too cool.
I
know what I'm doing, pal. I know what I'm doing with my, fucking LP sound recorder underneath my fucking shirt. Surely there's another first aid kit on the plane. So the medic has his own kit, but there'd have to be a first aid kit on the plane, right? Otherwise, Bubba, I know he serves a purpose with the insulin, but still, there's got to be another first aid kit. How does no one hear the fight in the hold where he shoves the guy into the pipe?
Yep.
Right. And then I'll get to that in ugly. The tractor and 10 men are not pulling that plane out of that dirt.
No.
That tractor is 100 years old.
There's no way they're dragging that massive plane out of anything.
They just throw some ropes over the wings and start pulling over their shoulders.
Yeah. It's very bizarre.
And the thing that made me laugh the most was military-grade ambush against the army. 10 prisoners who have suddenly got all these guns that they found and with military precision take out an army squadron. Yeah. One of them's wearing a dress.
The army squadron, a little too dopey for my liking to go down the gauntlet.
Yeah.
Like that, as if they'd all just come rushing in.
Yeah.
Running down a gauntlet like that.
Yeah. So anyway, anyone got anything for ugly?
No, we've covered everything.
I've got some uglies. Daniel?
Yeah, I did. Cole Meany. Everyone. The cast is diverse. I like that. There's a lot of actors in there that you wouldn't expect would turn up in a Bruckheimer film and in a film like this. But Cole Meany is just, he's from another planet in this. I don't get his character. You've already posited that there's zero redeeming feature to him. He makes illogical decisions. He's overly cranky. He yells too much. It's just a really bad decision as an actor and a decision to employ him in that role. And I think that's the only one that they really fucked up.
Yeah, he annoys the fuck out of me. I've got a couple uglies. Well done, Daniel. So Cyrus the Virus appears to be the most well-known prisoner on the planet, yet he doesn't cover his face when they do the prison transport. And I know there's a snowstorm, but he pulls his thing down and doesn't cover his face. Surely all the guards there know who he is.
Yeah, good point. You'd think so. You think there's only 11 of them on the plane.
But they know this transport's coming in with 3 people that are locked in cages.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, we haven't got to the point of like, why would they put all of those bad people on the one
flight? Yeah, exactly. And then also, so Poe kills the guy downstairs. Poe knows that if anyone finds out that he's a parole guy, that he's dead. Wouldn't he go into his box underneath and just remove the parole letter, remove the shit from his daughter, all that shit, throw it out the fucking hold?
Yep. 2 go down, 1 comes up.
Yep. So then, last thing, the 3 baddies steal a fire truck at the end. Why the fuck is Cyrus on the top of the ladder? They get away if they hide in the cabin and just drive off.
Yes.
Why is he on the ladder?
So they could chase him. Okay. Good
All
call.
good
Dan's
calls. Can't.
quick. Dan's quick fire. Take it away.
Yes, gentlemen, another round of what the voicemail will soon prove is the favourite segment of all the F-wits, or sometimes second to film school for F-wits. But let's get into it. Lookalike this week. Again, public service announcement doesn't necessarily need to be a shit bloke that looks like me. Any lookalikes that jumped out of you in Con Air, gentlemen?
Yeah, Cameron Poe.
Cameron Poe's hair,
Morgs
definitely
alike.
a Morgs
Now.
alike.
Now.
Yeah, Morgs now.
I think he looks almost identical to you now, Dan.
Yeah.
But then I've also got a fat Morgs alike as well.
John Cusack was running your old dude, just long and like a bit fluffy, a bit of a long do, and then you went full Campo on yourself.
What about MC Gainey?
Yes,
as Fat Morgs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if I had a mustache, I reckon I could pull off. Sorry.
It's all right. It's your turn.
Fucking hell. Tough gig. Yes,
Fucking
I'll
hell,
accept
John.
both of those, gentlemen. Good
Dan,
call.
just on that, Dan, have you ever considered a moustache?
I tried to grow one. So when we used to do a month in Bali at the end of the year in the sort of mid-90s, I would try and grow it, but it just was it gets very itchy and very red very quickly. So it's facial hair and me are not really a thing. I've tried the goatee, I've tried the moustache, I've tried the full beard, and it drops another few points on the fugly rating scale, and it's just itchy as all hell. So no, it's just not my bag, baby.
Got to say, Bali's a good place to try shit like that, though.
It is. You can be a new person, you know.
Yeah, you can be
Go
whoever
out
you want to be.
Meet
It's a
new
bit like
friends.
Noosa.
Nude statues, whatever you
Make
want to do.
statues. Yeah, whatever you floats your boat.
Any more lookalikes?
No, I don't think so.
No, I will accept both of those. Next up, say hello to my little friend for a scene that has passed over into popular culture. I mean, the bunny bit that we kind of do when you watch the film, but it's not like you've ever really said that in real life, I don't think. G-Man, anything that you're the soundbite guy, anything that you used for Josh and Charlie?
No, I don't think there's anything out of this.
There's nothing in this movie.
The only one would be Welcome to Con Air. You know, that's sort of got the title, and it's not really. Yeah, there's nothing jumps out here. Put the bunny back. Like Whitey said it to me last week, and I didn't remember it.
Yeah.
But once I saw the movie, or once I saw the preview, I was like, oh yeah, now I remember that. But then again, that's not something to jump straight to mind.
Agreed. No, I don't think it has. Next up, I've reinstated the cast of Caddyshack for an actor or entire cast that aren't quite sure of the tone of the film they're in for this week, just because Cole Meany pissed me off, and I can't believe that he was allowed to turn in that performance in an over-the-top movie already. He just struck me as ridiculous. What do you think, Whitey?
I think it's a good call. Well done.
There we go. Moving on, Burt Young in The Rockies for the biggest douchebag character. Again, it would be hard-pressed to go past Cole Meany's DEA agent.
Can't go past him.
No, I think he's going to be a double whammy there, unless, G, you thought of anyone else that was particularly
No, I mean,
douchey?
obviously, there's some really bad criminals, but
he's the biggest
No,
dick in
that's
the
got a
movie.
bit of charisma. Yeah. Agreed. I mean, side note, I don't think a rapist character is getting as much airplay if this film is remade in 2024.
Yes,
100%.
On the nose.
And not only that, not saying that he's raped 23 women.
Yeah.
And then bragging that it's 600.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty grim. Good call. Anyway, next up, Olivia Newton-John. Rest in peace. Oh, beautiful one. You're an amazing actress, an absolute credit to our country, yet you couldn't do a cartwheel for shit in Greece at the pep rally. Very poor show of athletic prowess. Was there anything in this film that was on par or even in the same stadium as that show of unconess? Gow.
I'm going to go the opposite way on this one, because I'm going to go with Cameron Poe having the most prowess for being able to be hanging off the ladder of a truck while it's flying along a road, and hanging on with one hand, being able to snap a stick and then stick it through a guy's leg, or while hanging with one hand.
There's a lot to be said for the American Special Forces program because they do make super soldiers. Yeah, he was very
Lethal Weapon.
impressive. Yeah, no, I think that's a good call, Gal. I don't think anyone really stood out as Unco in this. Nothing that really
No.
springs to mind.
Just the dancing of the bloke in the dress.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sally Can't
Sally
Dance.
Can't
Yeah,
Dance.
again,
Yeah,
another
Sally-
on the nose character. Certainly wouldn't appear. I mean, look, I like that he was certainly accepted by all of the big tough prison guys and given an M16 to go and shoot cops like everyone else. But yeah, just a bit of an unnecessary flourish that not needed these days. Good call.
The other thing I'd go John Cusack's white suit, cream suit.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty bad.
So he was, you might have this and listen to this, but yeah, he was very involved in what the character wore. And the suit and the footwear were two things that John Cusack insisted on because he wanted to see an action hero that was dressed as a bit of a dandy. And I think he succeeded.
He did. He succeeded, all right.
Good-o. Next up, Robot Sentries for the film Aliens, which Whitey must be getting very close. In that, the director's cut depicts a scene of the robot sentries taking on the marauding alien intruders, which just shows us that there's a whole lot of those fuckers about to attack and gives us a bit more insight into the predicament of our space marines. Was there anything in Con Air that you wanted to know more about in this particular film? Whitey?
Nothing.
G-Man?
No, I don't think we needed any more background. We got everything we
Nothing.
needed there.
So we didn't get a lot of understanding of what made Cameron Poe a little bit of a rebel, and they definitely changed up the character, and it was something that in the development originally wasn't an army ranger or a green beret. He was just a street thug that had a bit of a problem but was going on the straight and narrow. But it was, again, Nicolas Cage that worked with Bruckheimer and the production team to give him a bit more of a backstory so that he could give him a bit more of a well-rounded character. And I think that was a great choice. But I think there was a little bit of disconnect between the original idea and where they landed that wasn't explained fully. So maybe a little bit more about why when they met Hummingbird and he was still a bit of a shit would have helped a bit. But it doesn't mean a lot in the grand scheme of things. So I think that's fine. And finally, Whitey's Brad Pitt for the actor you'd most like to. There's only one female in the cast. Or no, there's a couple.
There's a couple. There's a couple.
Yeah. Anyway, Whitey, which one would you choose as your
okay, so I'm fairly certain both of you guys will go for Monica Potter. I'm going for Ginny. John Cusack's offsider, short hair.
Yes.
John Cusack's offsider.
Yeah.
Okay. Now she is
she
Adam
from Bad
Sandler's.
Boys?
No, that's Taylor Leone. She's in The Wedding Singer. She plays Adam Sandler's girlfriend, the jilted.
Original girlfriend. The
original girlfriend
back at the end.
Yeah. She's also in Seinfeld. She plays the cleaning lady, I'm pretty sure, that he has sex with. That's really an escort. It's the cleaning service that he has sex with, and then he doesn't have to pay, and then he has to pay her as well to clean, and she doesn't clean. Something about the short hair. She looks very sexy in this movie. She doesn't look great in many other things, but I think she looks great in this film.
Excellent call. I will accept that for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, again, it's a bit of a strange one in that not a traditional leading man either, like Nick Cage for all his action star qualities that he shows in this kind of triumvirate of films that he goes on to make. Not a movie matinee idol by any stretch, and really none of the cast are all character actors by nature. So interesting that to hang the fate of a $75 million movie on someone that's got a head like Nicolas Cage is an interesting choice.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, Jerry Bruckheimer really wanted him. Like, they wanted to cast him, and the other producers wanted him.
Well, he was hot property after the Oscar.
Well, because when he was filming when he was filming The Rock, Bruckheimer went to his trailer and handed in the Con Air script, and 2 days later he signed up. That's how much he wanted him.
And look, he can't. It certainly worked out in the end. But anyway, great call, gentlemen. That is a quick fire. Thank you very much.
Well done, Daniel. Listen to this, G-Man.
Oh, geez, I've gone through pretty much everything I've got. I'll give it a miss. Look, the only one was that the studio originally wanted Tony Scott to do this film.
It looks like a Tony Scott film, to be honest.
It does. But They obviously did really well with what's his name, Simon West.
Simon West.
Yeah, everything else. I've hit everything else we wanted to. Oh, apart from the fact this is the first movie that wasn't Bruckheimer Simpson.
Yes.
It was the first one where it was just Bruckheimer. He had his new film logo on there. Don Simpson hated the script, and then when they ended their partnership, Simpson was happy to relinquish any ties to the film and let Bruckheimer go on it.
Do you think, Dan, this is just a question here for the podcast. Do you think a Simpson Bruckheimer episode would be interesting?
Very much so. Yeah, great call.
Because
I mean,
it would be
Don
quite-
Simpson was an absolute freak, and it sounds like Jerry Bruckheimer was very much the yang to the yin of Simpson
Yes.
and the debauchery that he carried on with. But yeah, I think revisiting some of the eponymous films that those two churned out in the 80s and early 90s is a very good call.
Yeah, we might look into that. Dan, you got anything for listening to this?
Yeah, just in France, the film was called The Wings of Hell because con is a slang term for a dumb person in French. Voila.
There you go. That's funny. Jamie, you got anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, I've got John Malkovich and Samuel L. Jackson were guests on the Graham Norton show in 2015. Norton pointed out to one of them the fact that they'd never done a movie together. Well, Norton pointed out the fact they'd never done a movie together. Given their extensive filmographies, Jackson said of Malkovich, "Well, none of my movies are serious. He's a serious actor." He's a serious actor. Malkovich replied, No, I was in Con Air.
Yeah.
If that's serious, I'm an astronaut.
I told you.
Excellent.
Cerebral.
Cerebral. Yeah, very funny. We talked about John. Okay, so Jason Isaacs actually auditioned for the Cyrus role as well. You know, the Pommy actor.
Yep.
Plays Malfoy's dad in Thingo in Harry Potter. Was
he going to get a push there for a while?
Maybe, but he plays a very bad guy in Mel Gibson's The Patriot.
Yep.
Jason Isaacs. But in this particular audition involved performing a scene with a handgun. So he said he'd use a nearby pencil as a prop. But the camera assistant offered him a real handgun he had tucked under his shirt in his belt.
America!
Isaac said his voice shot up 3 octaves and he went all Jerry Lewis saying, "Oh my God, it's a real gun!" He said director Simon West was as wide-eyed as he was. He'd been working with the assistant for a while, had no idea he had a gun.
He was packing.
Yeah.
Wowzers. Our American friends will never understand how different that is to a UK or Australian resident to see you just packing heat wherever you want. Good stuff.
So there have been recent talks about a Con Air sequel. Simon West, Nick Cage, John Cusack, and John Malkovich have all expressed interest. Now, John Malkovich might find it hard considering his head got squashed like a pumpkin.
Yeah.
And died.
Could be a prequel.
Could be. Pre-Con Air.
Yes, well done.
Okay, quotables, G-Man.
I've only got, sorry, boss, but there's only 2 men I trust. One of them's me. The other's not.
The other one ain't you.
Every line he says is just dripping with sarcasm. It's so over the top. Like,
Yeah, there's 3 men I trust.
yeah, it's too much for me. It's too much.
Yeah, no, that's good. Every line that he says, like the other one here, on any other day that might seem strange.
Yeah.
Right. It's
there's a lot of those little one.
And the one in the trailer, I'm just admiring your cage.
Yeah.
But I've got the one is quite funny is that Garland Green as Sweet Home Alabama plays in the background.
Yeah.
Define irony, bunch of idiots dancing on a plane to a song made famous by a band that died in a plane crash. So that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. This bit made me laugh. This was Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. I know what you're going to say.
After searching him, smells like someone shit in your mouth. He told me he loved me.
Good.
I thought that was good. Yeah.
I just want to go back to listen to this for 2 seconds. You guys, I think, you brought it up before, how uncomfortable it was, the scene with Buscemi and that little girl at the trailer park. So
Oh,
in
yeah.
the original test audience screening, that scene was actually a lot longer, and they really wrought the tension from it and suspense from it even more. And they had people walking out in the cinema, just like, what are you doing to us? We don't need this. So that's why it was actually shortened a hell of a
Cut
lot
back,
in the
yeah.
final theatrical release. And it was, I mean, it was bad enough as it was, but yeah, I think the director
No, I
had
agree.
a lot more
I
fun with it
vividly
prior to
remember
that.
watching that and going,
Yeah, it's
"Oh no, this can't happen." And
pretty
then
full on.
when he walks out with the doll, and I was like, "Oh no."
pretty full on.
Yeah. And
Grim.
it's a sort of relief when the plane takes off and you see her sitting there and you're like, "Oh, she got away."
Yep. Agreed. Well done, gentlemen. 1 degree of Kurt Russell. This is easy. Steve Buscemi, Escape from LA.
Yep. Well done. That was
Film
easy.
school for F-Wits. Take it away, Dan.
Yes, F-Wits. I don't mind if you like this segment more than quickfire. It's fine with me as long as it's in your top 2. But I just want to look at this film. So watching Con Air, I hadn't seen it for a couple of years, and I saw it, and there was just something that made me think about all of Jerry Bruckheimer's oeuvre when I was watching it. I couldn't put my finger on it, and I was sitting there thinking that what is it about Jerry Bruckheimer films that, but you know immediately that it's a Bruckheimer film. And Jerry Bruckheimer is an interesting type of executive producer in that he's a lot more involved in the visual style of the film. Like he doesn't come from a screenwriting background. He doesn't come from a cinematography background. He's advertising is where he cut his chops. And he takes that into all of his projects, and he has never, ever claimed to be anything than a popcorn movie producer. And he does a lot of TV as well, all the CSI stuff that he does. And it's really interesting if you look up Bruckheimer, what else he's been involved with. He also does video games, and I think he brings that real cinematographic skill to all of the projects that he does, and just that real epic vastness that is apparent in any project he does. But again, he's not from a traditional film production background. Yet, if you think about Con Air and Bad Boys and The Rock and especially Armageddon, there's something that make them look really visually similar and instantly recognized. Now, it's not just explosions. So it's certainly all of them are over the top, and there's a lot of shit that goes on, especially with The Rock, Armageddon, and this film Con Air. But what really struck me in this viewing was, I think it's got a lot to do with the camera movement, a real distinct camera movement that is used in the production of these films. So you probably haven't realized, but when you watch Con Air, there is a lot of use of a rushing camera. So if you think about a camera on a dolly that will start off pretty wide, framed with the actor in the background, it will often set the tension by rushing up really in close to come up to a close-up or even extreme close-up of the actor. And it's used a lot in Con Air, and it's used a hell of a lot in Armageddon. So it's something that he uses, and it subconsciously makes you think of, okay, stylistically, it's very similar. And there's also, I mean, if you think about in Con Air, the put the money back in the box scene is one that shows that, with the two of them are down in the hold of the plane. And for Reach, for the close up of Nick Cage, and for the close up of the other Krim, they use it both, where they have a dolly that just rushes straight up to them when they have dialogue, and just adds to the tension. So it's something that again, you think about in Armageddon, with a lot of the scenes in at NASA with Billy Bob Thornton and all of the experts when they're trying to come up with ways to diffuse the asteroids that are going to hit Earth. There's a whole lot of use of that with that, I call it a rushing camera. So it's definitely on a dolly, but a really over the top or stylized quick cut. That's not even quick cut, a gradual cut coming in close into the actor whose dialogue we hear in the time. So is this something you guys have noticed in other films, gentlemen? Whitey?
Now that you mention it, yes. It's not something that all his films have a very distinct look, regardless of the director and a very distinct
That's
feel.
and again,
regardless
sorry, I
of-
didn't mention that earlier, but I thought there might be a cinematographer or a director or a
Yeah.
common link between the films, but there's not, which is
and that's
really
what- that's-
interesting because
It is, and I think that's the thing, because you mentioned like there's Crimson Tide and there's Tony Scott's a director, and there's all these different directors, and Michael Bay's a director, but they're all quite similar directors, which is why when I said earlier that I thought that this felt like a Michael Bay film, it just feels like a Jerry Bruckheimer film.
But
That's
Michael Bay
it.
was The Rock. Did Michael Bay do The Rock? I think he did,
Michael
didn't he?
Bay did The Rock.
Yeah. So that's similar too to me.
Yeah.
It's very similar.
So it's he must have a hell of a lot of influence in how things are done.
well, that's it. And I don't think we've probably given him as much kudos as perhaps he requires for again what are essentially blockbuster popcorn movies. But he
he's
seems to
stumping
be
up the
very
freight,
much
isn't he?
involved.
Still,
Still,
he's
stumping up.
organising the front of the freight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Probably got a bit of
well,
say
that's
in
it.
that.
And traditional executive producer can be as hands off as just I've got the cash and put
Yep.
together the cast and crew. But the other thing that is the unusual camera angles. So in this film, particularly in a lot of those other films we've name checked, really strange camera angles, a lot of low angles. So if you think about John Cusack when he's driving in Kick-Ass, the flick of the dickhead Colmeany's DEA agent, like there's some shot from the footwell up at John Cusack that you wouldn't normally think of as an angle you would use to frame that particular moment. And the more you look at the film, and I encourage you when you watch other Bruckheimer bits, just think about this or sort of take you out of the view experience for a while and think about the usual camera angles that he does. Bad Boys is another one that is uses that a lot, where it's really framed and sometimes off-kilter angles will get. So the camera will be set at 45 degrees for a particular shot, which seems really strange at the time, but fits the overall style of the movie. There's some other production techniques that he uses included in post-production, he often blows out the background to give it that real California sepia look in a lot of the sky. So that's quite common throughout a lot of his films. So there's some other production and editing tricks that he uses that are aligned in, I guess, all of these films. But yeah, just something that really struck me that I haven't noticed before, because it's not something you normally think about when you're watching a blockbuster, is the interesting use of camera angles and rushing cameras. But I think that goes a lot to giving us a style for movies that are otherwise not linked by directors or anything but the executive producer, Mr. Bruckheimer himself. There you go. Any comments to make on that particular observation?
I think it's a good observation, Dan, and I hadn't thought about it until you sent it through about how much of a influence he has over his movies. And I think that I guess he's worked with so many different people, but there is a distinct feel and look to his films. And I think that he must be pretty fucking good at what he does.
Yeah,
they must listen to him.
underrated, I think.
I think they must listen to him.
Yeah.
He's
Totally.
been
There you
involved
go.
in so much.
Yeah.
Like just looking at Gemini Man, 12 Strong, Training Day. I mean,
He's made heaps of movies.
amongst CSI Crime Scene, he's done like hundreds of episodes of that.
Oh, he's dominated both TV and
Yeah.
film, which are normally quite disparate in who would be producing those. There's normally some absolute TV lords that look after that, and they don't really cross over into film or vice versa.
Yeah.
No, well done, Dan. It was a good one. We should definitely
done.
look to the future and do a Simpson Bruckheimer episode. It'll be fun. Well, it's the Dan Show, and we are rolling on because now it is a kick-ass credit song. Dan is on the mic. He's had a bit of time off. There's been some crackers in between. Now we're looking to see Dan talk about how good Don't Want to Read My Tombstone was, 105 episodes ago, and see if he can better it again. What do you got for us tonight, Daniel?
Oh, look, it's fair to say I peaked early in the kick-ass credit song, and that little fire pants prick that's normally sitting on the couch with your damo has really stepped up. So this week, I mean, obviously the Leanne Rimes / Tricia Yearwood track that is in this film that made Whitey cry is top of mind when I was
Hang on,
writing.
stop there. Stop. The song didn't make me cry. It was the relationship between a man and his daughter.
Oh, look, Gow and I have got two daughters between us, and you didn't see us sooking, did you, G?
No.
Fuck off, Gow.
Anyway, back to kick-ass credit song. So I was inspired.
Oh, stop, Gow. I can feel it's coming.
So definitely more of the ballad treatment for this week's Kick-Ass credit song. But this one is called John Cusack's Socks.
Right.
Here we go. I haven't practiced this, so I don't know how it's going to go with the melody, but here we go. John Cusack's Socks. A prison plane up in the sky, filled with convicts, oh so mad. Why didn't they have a sniper in there, or tear gas the cabin when shit went bad? Or they could play ear-piercing metal music like in Ozark when Jason Bateman was kidnapped by the cartel. Or simply strap them properly to their chairs. And how do they manage to open up handcuffs with a pin pulled from their hands? And why does Carmilne choose to place an undercover DA agent on board who is completely shit scared? And why does Lana Airfield have a bar diner there, even though it looks derelict, my balls? And did 90s gal root all the women in the trailer park next door and leave the shoplifted pootie in the swimming pool with no care? Every time I watch Can Air, I just can't help but stare at John Cusack's socks and sandals combo and Nick Cage's piss poor hair. Comini's completely miscast, overacting, but do we really care? Because in a Bruckheimer joint, it's really not the point. Cue the massive explosions everywhere.
Nice, Morgs. Really good.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's funny.
John Cusack Socks, a kick-ass classic. Could only be the second ballad.
Yeah, it's not a common.
It's not a I did. You Drew First Blood was a power ballad.
Yeah, that was strong.
And that's all that had. I don't want to miss a thing vibes to it. Dan,
It's so funny you said that. So I was actually thinking, don't want to miss the thing, Aerosmith, and also Bryan Adams. Everything I do.
Oh, nice.
That were the 2 points of reference I was giving for my
that was
the first time that's been sung with that melody for sure. I'd have changed it 50 times. But anyway, John Cusack's song.
Well, You Drew First Blood was a good song. Well, 2/3 of it. The last bit let it down.
No, that was the movie, not the song. That was the movie. Okay, star of the show, G-Man, who you got?
I'm going to go with John Malkovich.
The Malk.
I was thinking about, I'd liked both characters. I've liked him and Steve Buscemi's portrayal, but Cyrus the Virus is in the movie a lot longer. Yep, there's a lot more to him, and the character of Garland Green is very reserved and laid back, although creepy as hell. But I really like John Malkovich as an actor, and I think he nails this. Really, really hammers it. So yeah, that's it for me. John Malkovich.
Dan, who you got?
Just hang on. Sam's taken it upon herself to print something on the printer at the moment. So
okay,
give me 2 seconds.
Sure. Is that a dot matrix?
Still got the one.
You would sound like
I got that one last week. You got Licious and Larry next to it?
You got a Schlaffy in there?
No Schlaffy. I think it's done. All right, we can go for it. So,
okay. Dan, who you got? Star of the show.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jerry Bruckheimer. I think that it was definitely not the start of his career by any measure, but I think he goes hit for the next few swings, especially with Nicolas Cage. And it doesn't pretend to be anything other than what it is, which is a great, fun movie with a bazillion plot holes that no one gives a stuff about. Well done, Mr. Bruckheimer.
Well done. Yeah, very hard to go past him. I'm going to go the yin to your yang. And I'm going to go Steve Buscemi. Just purely because I think that everyone is overacting their tits off in this film. I think he garners the most, I guess.
He sets apart, doesn't he?
He's so different to everyone else.
Everyone else, yeah.
He's so different to everyone else. So I think that's what I like about him. And, Malkovich will be easy to pick. You can't pick any of the good guys. John Cusack is criminally underused.
Great actor, but I'm not saying he's the star of this movie.
I'm going with Buscemi for this one. It's not often we go all different. But well done,
No.
gentlemen.
Do we divert
rank.
me in the triple tie? Do we normally go with my
Yeah, well, we'll
advanced
go with
standing in the
Dan's.
industry?
Bruckheimer.
Yep.
Bruckheimer wins, being the industry insider. The rank bank. This one was a little difficult to pick things, but I've got Cyrus the Viruses, Terrible Lawyers, Johnny 600s, Diamond Dogs, Oversized Recording Devices, Hummingbirds, Awful Hair Extensions, Vegas Landing Strips, Dickhead DEA Agents. G-Man, you got anything?
Did you say Diamond Dogs?
Yes.
You did. Okay. I thought I'd come up with that one myself.
Okay. Well, I didn't say it. What do you reckon? I didn't say Diamond Dogs. What do you?
No,
got?
because I was listening to it and I didn't hear that one. I thought, did he say Diamond Dogs?
Yeah, I did say Diamond Dogs.
I don't know. I'm happy to take anyone. Morgs, what do you think?
What about miscast Cole Meanies?
Yeah, let's do that.
As kickers.
Let's do as kickers. Let's do as kickers.
All right,
Let's
as
do
kickers.
as kickers. As kickers. So Meanie gets a little bit of a sly stab because he's a dick. Okay, we'll start with you up on the land, Dan. How many as kickers are you giving? Bear with me. I'm dying. How many as kickers are you giving Con Air?
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I won't be Marie Kondoing it. I'm sure it will turn up in my viewing history for many years to come yet. Really good fun, really stupid, but a good, enjoyable romp. I'm going to give it 3.25 as kickers.
Good call. Like it. G-Man, what do you got?
I don't know if I would watch it again. Sorry, take that back. I would watch it again if it was on. I wouldn't go out of my way to put this on.
Yep.
I don't think. I've seen it. There's there's a lot of action, a lot of stuff happening. So it's something you could put on when you're not really needing to concentrate or you just want in the background. I'm going to give it 3. 3 as kickers.
Okay. Very nice. I'm giving it, me and you are the same, Dan. I'm giving it 3.25. I fluctuated on this one.
The agreeer.
Yeah, I'm the agreeer guy this week, and I enjoyed it. I thought this is a lot of fun. I think it's a pretty slick 2-hour film, and it is just what you would expect from a blockbuster from the 90s. And look, but it's also I'm agreeing with everyone tonight. You can tell I'm not well.
Agreeer guy.
I'm not sure I go out of my way to watch it, but if it's thrown at me, I'm all over it. I wouldn't say no. It's like me at the Jet Club at 3 a.m. All right. If it's thrown at me, I wouldn't say no. On that note, G-Man, where are we sitting with this one?
Okay, this brings us in at 3.17 as kickers. Now, we've got a whole heap of movies here. We've got 3.17 Aqua Turds for Caddyshack. We've got Sheldon the Wonder Schlongs, Harry Met Sally. We've got See You Next Wednesdays, American Werewolf in London, Dirty Dancing Catches of the County. And we have got Overacting Henchmen for Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Now, that's 3.17 is right above one of the greatest movies of all time and possibly the greatest song of all time.
North Shore.
North Shore with Pulled Leashes. Right below 3.19, which is US Four Ways.
Oh, that's
Love Actually.
Love Actually.
Yeah. So it sits, what number? Oh, the numbers don't add up. Doesn't matter. Sits in the middle of the pack.
The care factor on the rank bank sliding gear.
No, I care, but the numbers haven't. I couldn't be bothered going through it.
It's below mid table.
It's below mid table, definitely.
If you loved Con Air, what are you going to love, Daniel?
I would suggest you go and check out Snake Eyes, which is another Nick Cage bit that I think is underrated. So Brian De Palma flick, Carlo Gugino's, who is obviously
Gary
a favourite
Sinise.
of the three of us. Gary Sinise, is a very sinister Sinise. Excellent movie. Isn't revered by any stretch. I think people overlook this film, and I think it is a lot better than that and worth a revisit if you haven't seen it for a while. If you haven't seen it at all, go back and check it out.
Yeah, it's good fun. G-Man?
I had a couple of these. I looked at Escape Plan, Sly and Arnie.
Yeah, that's not bad.
It's not a bad movie. Yeah, I didn't mind that. Maybe The Rock, again, if you like Nicolas Cage, The Rock's a better movie to me, and it's it's similar set in the prison, or maybe something like Executive Decision if you're looking at an Air Force or air movie.
Yep. Good calls. I had Executive Decision, but also Air Force One. Either of those, I kept the plane
the
sort
plane
of thing
theme.
going. I thought that plane theme was quite good. Either of those, Executive Decision. The best part is Steven Seagal's in it for 7 minutes, and then gets sucked out of the tube.
Very true.
Gentlemen, I've got to say, we've done it again. This episode's in the rear view, and we look to next week. It's a big one. It's the one that we've been waiting 2 years to do, and it will be for our 2nd birthday.
Oh, stop it.
The scary thing is that Dan's got to do 2 in a row.
Oh, God.
But
Jeez.
the reason we can get him for 2 in a row is because we're doing 1986's action sci-fi horror masterpiece, Jim Cameron's Aliens.
Oh,
Cracker of a movie.
Now, I know there's a few watchers out there. I think Matty Beer Geek has just come in his pants.
yeah.
Okay, so mate, tell yourself off.
I've definitely slaffied a bit myself.
It's going to be great. Listen, I just got to shout out to Matty Beer Geek because he did. We were posing last week. The song for Hudson Hawk, and neither of us could remember it.
You've forgotten it again?
No, I have.
Catch a Moonbeam.
Yeah. Would you like to swing on a star? Yeah. So Matty Beer Geek wrote into us on that one. Thank you, mate, because I could not remember it to save my life.
No one remembers anything from Hudson Hawk except for your wife.
Yeah, she loves it.
Terrible. Terrible taste in everything except men. But next week, Aliens, it's going to be fun. We're turning 2. And in Damo years, that's 14.
Wow.
So we're nearly of age. We're nearly of age. Should be fun. Looking forward to that. It could be a long one. We might change something up a little bit for this one as a special celebration. But we've loved being around for 103 weeks, and we can't wait for our 104th. Until next week when we do Aliens. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, boys. See you later.
Thank you, Daniel.
Game over, man. Game over.
Bye for now. How did that go for an hour and 57 minutes?
Bloody hell.